Hello everyone. Y'all are welcome to Halogenius Ideas. My name is Chris and I'm very excited to be launching the first video of the channel today. So today we're going to be talking about most known terms for techies. As a tech person, these are terms you're supposed to know. At one point or the other, you will encounter them in your journey as a tech person. So it's very essential that you know their meanings. And if you're a beginner and you want to like kickstart your tech career, these are things you should know before starting. So when the time comes, you won't get lost over minimal things. So let's get right into it. Must know terms for techies. While trying to put this video together, I had to go through a whole lot of websites and all that to get content to better make this video more meaningful and for you to get value from it. So Google, Microsoft, Stack Overflow, Wikipedia, Mozilla, Cloudflare, W3 Schools. I have Kaspersky, InVision, a whole lot of them. Please see the description for the full attribution. So these are the terms that we are going to be covering and many more. But I won't want this video to be very long, so I'll keep it as short as I can. I'm going to be taking the first two columns. HTML, API, classes, 404 redirect, that's square, that's what I'll be treating in this video. So let's get right into it. The first one, HTML, hypertext markup language. In summary, you use it to define the elements you see in a web page. If you open a web page on your web browser, every single element you are seeing there was defined using the hypertext markup language. So it's a standardized system for tagging text files to achieve font, color, graphic, and hyperlink effects on a worldwide web page, on worldwide web pages rather. So let's move on to the next one. We have CSS, cascading style sheet. After defining the element using HTML, you're going to be needing CSS to define what the element will look like, how it will be displayed. That is basically what CSS is used for. As for JavaScript, you use JavaScript to give additional functionalities to elements on a website. So JavaScript is a scripting or programming language that allows you to implement complex features on web pages. So we have static and dynamic web pages. Static web pages are web pages that they are just static displayed. All the contents on the web page they are static there. There is no need for any changes to be made at any point. For example, let me say the home page of a school portal. All the elements there, they are static elements. Although if it includes a blog, then you know that the recent blogs have to come up. So that is where JavaScript comes in, or floating action buttons. If it is not a static web page, you know that is JavaScript at work. So we have responsive design. Responsive web design is an approach to web design that aims to make web pages render well on variety of devices and windows or screen sizes from minimum to maximum display size to ensure usability and satisfaction. In summary, it is called cross-browser compatibility. This website, if I open it on mobile, if I open it on system, it will like display like properly. So let's go to the next one. We have SaaS, software as a service. Software as a service allows users to connect to and use cloud-based applications over the internet. A good example of all this SaaS is your Gmail, your Microsoft Outlook, softwares. They are on the cloud. You go there, you use them. So we have a whole lot of other examples. Let me see if I can get us other examples of software as a service. I believe it's something we use almost every day. So examples of software as a service. I'm very sure we should. You see, we get Dropbox, SAP coloring, GoToMeeting, a whole lot of them. Let me see if I can open this one. Software as a service. Okay, you can see a whole lot of them here. Buffer, Amazon Web Services, HubSpot, Salesforce, G Suite, Zendesk, even Slack, Canva as well. Canva, canva.com. No. Canva.com. So You can come here and design your banners, your even video presentations, a whole lot of Instagram posts, posters. You can design a whole lot of things. This is a software, but it is hosted in the cloud. So that is why we have it's a software as a service platform. So let's continue with this. So software as a service, we've spoken about that. We have platform as a service, PAAS. As the name suggests, provides you with computing platforms that typically includes an operating system, programming language execution environment, databases, web servers, a whole lot of them. So unlike software as a service, software is the software has been created already, but platform as a service is that is the platform where you create the softwares in the cloud. They give you operating systems in the cloud where you can install applications that will be carrying your software for you. A good example is Heroku, Azure, Google App Engine, a whole lot of them, Windows, Azure, and all that. So Heroku in particular, let me show us Heroku in particular. Heroku.com. So we also have Netlify. These platforms allow you to host your web applications for free, even for free. You can come here to give you a programming environment, the operating system, everything you need is here. So they have free plans that will allow you to upload your website if it's just a portfolio, but for some extra functionalities you have to pay. For some featured functionalities rather, you have to pay for that. So let's continue. Okay, platform as a service. Now we have A/B testing. A/B testing, also known as split testing, refers to a randomized experimentation process whereby two or more versions of a variable, which is most likely a web page, a marketing ad, or whatever, are shown to different segments of website visitors or visitors online at the same time to determine which one will yield better results. For example, if you look at the image on the right of my screen, you will see A/B testing. You will see the green and the blue variable. One is having a 21% conversion, the other one is having a 38% conversion, and all that. So a practical use case of this is if you ask two designers to design a landing page for you, and both of them are really, really good. They are designers, so the concept the both of them will bring to the table, but it will be very different. So you don't know which one to choose. What you might do is that you might use this A/B testing to check which one of the two will convert better, then you go with it. So that is it basically. So we have server side. Now, server side refers to operations that are performed by the server in a client-server relationship in computer networking. I don't want it to be too much. In summary, when you are on the internet, for you to be able to get information on your web browser, let me open my web browser so it will be easier for me to if I go to a website like google.com, what is wrong with this? If I visit a website, say google.com, you can see now that Google is displaying this result for me. If I go to another website, say Facebook, this is facebook.com and this is google.com here. The reason why I can get all these details here is because there is a web server somewhere in the cloud that anytime I type google.com, this web browser is going to be making HTTP requests to a server online. So the server is going to be sending me back HTTP information as well. So the information will be downloaded to this Chrome web browser, then it will be interpreted as what you are seeing now. The same thing goes for this Facebook. Sure you get. So there is a web server online. So every time I make a request, I type something in my web browser or I go to this web page, I click on something. For example, launch your own project. As soon as I click on this thing, I'm making some requests to a server online. So the server is going to send back some HTTP response to me to be displayed on this particular web browser. So in summary, I'm the client, while the server that is supplying me the information is the server. Basically, the application that is supplying me the information is called the server. So let's come back here. So server side refers to typically a server is a computer program such as a web server that runs on a remote server somewhere in the cloud, reachable from my local computer or workstation. You understand? I'll make a request, as you can see in the image here. I'll make an HTTP request to the server. The server will do whatever it has to do to give me an HTTP response. The HTTP response will be sent to my web browser. My web browser will interpret whichever response has been sent and display it for me as a web page. So that is server side, the part of the client-server relationship where all the logic happens, where all the requests are being processed to be sent back to the client. That is the server side. So the client side requires to the part making the request. You understand? In a client-server relationship, the client is making the request to the server is responding to the client's request. So I hope you understand that. It is just as simple as that. So we also have the 301 redirects. So the HTTP response status code 301 moved permanently is used for permanent redirecting, meaning that the links or records returning this response should be updated. You understand? The new URL should be provided in the location field included with the response. In summary, if you have moved a particular web page on your website, for example, it used to, as you can see in the image here, it used to be example.com/footwear, but I've already changed the web link to example.com/shoes. You know that, okay, it used to be footwear, now I have shoes. So anybody coming to footwear, I won't want the person to get lost. So I will create a 301 redirect that if you come to footwears, redirect the person to shoes. So that is a 301 redirect moved permanently. Like the web page exists, but actually it has been moved to another web page. So I'm going to be redirecting you to that web page. That is what 301 redirect stands for. So we have the 404 redirect. 404 redirect are server response codes informing the user that this web page cannot be found. Do you understand? Many a times you are browsing the internet and at one point or the other we try to visit a web page and it's telling us that this web page cannot be found. That's what you call a 404 error, a 404 redirect. So it takes you to the 404 page of that website. So application programming interface. This is the software intermediary that allows two applications to talk to each other. So let me explain this a bit. If you are using WhatsApp on your phone and you are chatting with someone who is in America, let me say you're in the UK, you're chatting with someone who is in America, the reason why the WhatsApp on your phone can communicate with the WhatsApp on the phone of someone in America is because of this API. You understand? It is standing as an intermediary between you and the guy in America. So when you send messages, it will be going to the person through the API, and when the person is sending it back to you, it will be coming through the API. So it is far more complicated than that, but I think that's the better way to explain it, to keep it as basic as I can. So each time you are using an app like Facebook, send an instant message or check the weather on your phone. So all these weather applications, they use APIs. The banking softwares the banking applications we install on our mobile phones, all those banking applications, they use APIs. The mobile applications are on our phones, but somehow we can perform banking transactions on the phone. It means that this phone is connected to their API via the mobile app. So with the mobile app, I can talk to whatever bank I'm using through the API. You understand? A software here is talking on another software on their server through the application programming interface. So we have the bandwidth. Now sometimes people confuse this bandwidth with what do they call it? With your internet speed, but they are two different things. Bandwidth is the rate of data exchange. Internet speed is the rate of data exchange that you are experiencing currently. You understand? Bandwidth can be 1000 MB per second, it can be 2000 MB per second, but your internet speed, you have to measure it to know what the current internet speed is. Bandwidth is the rate of data exchange that you are making on a platform or whatever, but internet speed is, let me show you a platform. If you go to this website, fast.com, with the help of fast.com, you can measure your internet speed. I'm in Lagos, Nigeria, by the way. Let me see my internet speed. You know how wacky my internet speed can be. This is just 12 MB per second. So it's still calculating it. 13 MB. Can you be fast already? Okay, it's saying my internet speed is 13 MB per second. You understand? So this is my internet speed currently. The rate of data exchange on this my internet, that is what my internet can permit at this particular point is 13 MB per second. But if I want to do for bandwidth will be there's a website. I'm communicating with the website. For me to communicate with the website, I have to be sending information to the web server via some clicks, via uploading data, via entering some information, filling some few forms and all that. The rate of data exchange, I'm sending something to the server and the server is sending something back to me. I'm sending information, I'm getting information. The rate of data exchange, that is what you call bandwidth. So please don't confuse the two of them together. Let's continue with the slide. So I have SSL. SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. So it's a technology used to create security for a website basically. So it's a protocol for establishing secure links between network computer. If, for example, I have my phone and I'm talking to someone, or I'm not just talking to someone, perhaps I'm shopping online or something with a particular website. I have to send data from this phone to that website and I have to receive HTTP response back to this phone. So with the help of the secure socket layer, every time I make an HTTP request from this phone to the server, it will encrypt my request, then it will send the encrypted request to the server. The server has a decryptor, a way to decode the encrypted information I sent to the server. So exactly what is happening here, if you can see the picture by the right, I have the user in the insecure connection. You can see the credit card over here. So perhaps you're shopping online and you want to send your credit card information to the payment processor. So after entering your credit card information, if the website is not secure, it goes directly. And going directly means that hackers can just tap into it and get your credit card information. But if you are using the encrypted connection, which is the SSL certificate, all those details that you're going to be sending to the server, it will be encrypted before it goes out. So when it's going out, the server has a way to decrypt what you have encrypted to get the information you sent initially. So the server will in turn encrypt information to send back to you. So your web browser has a way to decrypt the encrypted information the server sent back. You understand? So it's a two-way thing. Instead of me sending the information to the server directly, I encrypt my information and send it to the server. The server will decrypt the information, get what I want to do. Then when the server wants to give me a response, the server will encrypt the information again. Then it will the server will send it to my web browser. My web browser has a way to decrypt the information and display the web pages and display everything in the web page. So that is it basically. I'm trying to keep it as basic as I can so we can comprehend. We have media query. Now, a media query is a CSS technique used to write some block of code to be executed if certain conditions are true. So it is widely used for responsive design, mostly. In most cases, it is being used for responsive design. And don't forget, I said responsive design is a kind of design architecture such that if this web page, we display it on a desktop screen, it is displaying properly. If we display it on a tablet, it is displaying properly. And if it is being displayed on a mobile phone, it is displaying properly. So this media query can say, okay, if you have visited a website with your phone and a laptop before, you know that the way it is going to be displaying will be different. For example, you might have a slider up and they will tell you that in the mobile view, the slider is not supposed to display on the mobile view. You use media queries to make those kind of changes to the mobile version of those websites. So it is basically like this text, make it, let's say 60 pixels on desktop. On mobile, make it 40 to bring it down. So that way it will be displaying properly on mobile. So that is it basically. It is used in responsive design a whole lot. So we have bounce rate. Bounce rate is an internet marketing term used in web traffic analysis. It represents the percentage of visitors who enter the site and then leave, rather than continue to view other pages within the same site. As soon as they got to the site, they just took off. So it is a very bad thing. It's a very bad thing. That it might be because of website usability, it might be because the content there, they are dummy content. It might be because they are not feeling safe when they get to the site. So for one reason or the other, they get to the site, and as soon as they land on the page, they are taken off. That is what you call bounce. You understand? So that is it basically. Then we have cache. Now, cache data is information from a website or app that is stored on your device to make the browsing process faster. So cache data save on loading time, though it occupies space on your device. For example, if I'm visiting facebook.com with my phone, I will notice that the loading time is reduced. The reason is because there are some particular layouts that the web page, images, they have been stored on my phone. So it won't have to be loading over and over again. It will only load the dynamic part of the web page, but the static part remains there. So anytime I visit that particular URL, the initial layout I'm getting before will be displayed, but all the dynamic layout, it might ask using an API or something. So the cache data will help the usability of the website go up, because you are not practically loading the whole website. You are only loading the dynamic part of the website. The static part remains on your web browser, so that way you are not loading the static part again. So it saves on loading time. So that is it basically. It is being saved on your local storage, don't forget, on your phone or on your laptop or something. So we have cookies. Now, cookies are text files with small pieces of data like username and passwords. You'll notice very well that if you log into a website and you enter your login information on the website, if perhaps you close the website and you try to log in tomorrow, it will not ask you to log in again. The reason is because it has saved some cookies on your web browser to identify you that, okay, this person have logged in to this website before. This is the person's username and password. There's no reason for us to ask the person to log in again. So, because if you keep asking people to log in every time they try to visit the website, it might start becoming tiring. So at least you save them that stress. But at some point, the cookies will have to expire. So that way you are sure that, okay, after 60 days you have to log in again. After 10 days you have to log in again. So that is it basically. Cookies are small pieces of information sent to your web browser to show that this web browser have visited the website initially. So there's no need for us to be creating authentication and all that for the person. So we have a call to action. So call to action is a prompt on a website that tells the user to take a particular action. Now this action it might be app download, it might be to sign up, it might be to buy something, it might be to watch a video, it might be to schedule an event or something, it might be to book a phone call or all of that. So it might be so many things. You trying to initiate an action from the user is what you call a call to action. That is it basically. That is it. There are so many call to actions we get on. A call to action might be me telling you to like this video and subscribe to the video. So all those things you see on YouTube, it's a call to action. It's a call to action. So now to the last one, we have classes. So a class is an attribute used to define a group of HTML elements in order to apply unique styling and formatting to those elements using CSS. This goes to the programmers, but it's not every part of tech that is coding based. So there's some part of tech that is not coding based. So, but this is for coders. And for people that are writing object-oriented programming languages like a class is like the blueprint of an object as well. So just know where it applies to you. But if you have more than one element on a web page that is going to be taking a particular property and a value, so all those elements, you can group them using the class, then you apply the CSS property and value to the class. From the class, all of them will inherit the property and the value. So that way, you are not repeating yourself. So with just one class, you have already defined how a group of elements on a web page will be displayed. So that would be all for today. Thank you very much. I hope to see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe, so when we upload the next video, you'll be getting a notification on your device. So thank you very much. See you next time. Have a prosperous new year.